once he saw our flyer, Yusef Taylor, aka Flex, sent me this message. Honorable Minister for Information and Honorable Chief of Staff, can you kindly inform Gambians on the outcome of the Presidential Committee on the Data Price Floor established since late August and the government's call for dialogue with the youths? One, on the price floor, the Minister for Communications and Digital Economy stated during a Mansakunda town hall that the report is ready. There is something good there for Gambians and it is to be tabled in cabinet. When will Gambians get this something good? Is the report secret? Two, on the issue of dialogue with the youths, Gumsa Bopa, Gala and EFS CRJ have demanded that all charges be dropped for dialogue to take place. Since your declaration, no invitation letter has been written to any of us and the charges have not been dropped. Is the government serious about dialogue with youths, or is this just another delaying tactic?
Okay, a couple of issues raised by Mr. Taylor, who I respect very much. But let's break it down.
Let's break it down.
All right. First, he talked about the price floor determined by PURA and the reaction of the youths after the determination. Now, remember, PURA is an independent institution. PURA make the determination, not even informing government beforehand. Government have no clue when that determination was done. And they have the right to do that because, like I said, they are an independent institution. Now, and they went ahead and justify what they did. But the general public, including the youth, were not happy. And they protested. Now, we have indicated that it's the manner of the protest that we have an issue about, because you have also not exhausted the process that has been set. You can go through a public petition PURA on this particular decision. If PURA failed to reverse itself, go to the executive and talk about this. But now to mobilize yourself around a decision that was legitimately carried out by a legitimate body of government, I think also was to some extent not appropriate. Now, that is that done.
That's just context, background to actually his question, which is on the price floor. The Minister for Communications and Digital Economy stated during a Mansakunda town hall, organized always by Dr. Ceesay here, that the report is ready because the president had set up a presidential panel to look into this, didn't he? And this is quoting the minister, there is something good there for Gambians and is to be tabled in cabinet. Now, his question is, when will Gambians get this something good that the Minister of Digital Economy spoke about, and is the report a secret?
Now, okay, further, I was just coming to that.
Okay.
To demonstrate the goodwill and how responsive this government is, we said, okay, the youths are not happy, the public is not happy about this.
Oh, the youths are not happy?
No.
I thought somebody says the youths are happy, just go ahead.
In this particular context, all right? Now, and we said, okay, let's call the stakeholders. The ministry, MOBDI, Ministry of Digital Economy, PURA, Gambia Competition and Public Consumer Protection Agency, as well as Office of the President were summoned to State House to discuss this. And we were not in that room to reverse PURA or even question PURA's decision. What we were there for was that what had happened, any explanation by PURA, and what was the level of consultation, and what can be done. Now, the conclusion was that a task force was required to be set up, and we then mandated the Minister of Digital Economy to go ahead and constitute a task force, set up a terms of reference, and then conclude the report. The report has been concluded. Since the report was concluded, we haven't got a cabinet. The report has to be presented to cabinet for it to be tabled and discussed, and then accepted or otherwise. But meanwhile, we were also told, because this is a process, you talked about between August and to now.
Yes.
What happened was that not only were the task force looking at this, but at the same time, a body was also set up to study, to do a market assessment study that would have also informed the appropriateness of the $50 per gigawatt, whether that decision should stay, whether it should be removed, or whether it should even be enhanced. But whatever that study indicate would also have to inform the report outcome. But I am saying to Mr. Taylor is that August to date, if you know how government works, you think it's a long time. You think it's a delaying tactics. There is no delaying tactics in this. We have been responsible enough to understand that some people were not, or some part of our society were not happy about this, and we are doing something about it. Now, to his last question, was this the call for dialogue?
Yes.
This call for dialogue was made when we presented the government response to Gala protest. And we said, whatever can be achieved on the street can be achieved also on the table. We encourage and we made the point that rather than using the street, which is legitimate, they can always, but let's also allow dialogue and let's also allow negotiations. That is exactly what we did. But what was their response? Their response from their social media posting by the Ghetto Pen or even Galas Jr., were that we are not negotiating with any armchair officials, that we belong to the street. The street is our way. So if Gomsa Bopa or the center also believe in the same thing, who shut the door on who here? Because, like I said, government was determined to engage in a dialogue. And then, worst, they also place a condition. Unless you drop the charges, we are not sitting. So what is the point of extending any particular letter? Because the idea was to engage them, define a negotiation agenda, and then went ahead with the dialogue negotiations.
So this is not a delaying tactic, as he asks. Is the government serious about dialogue with youths, or is this just another delaying tactic?
No, like I said, if the youth comes and said, we are not negotiating with any armchair officials, if the youth said, we belong to the street, if the youth come and say, unless you drop the charges, we are not sitting. These are the conditions that they have placed.
And these are unacceptable conditions
These
as well.
are unacceptable conditions.
They should come to the dialogue with an open mind. And then we can discuss some of these charges there, because obviously this is a matter for the courts, and the courts are independent courts, and we can see what we can do. But like I said, we are open and we are ready and we are committed to dialogue with all youths of the Gambia, not only Gomsa Bopa or Gala or Edward Francis Small, Center for Rights and Justice. We, as a government, we are open to dialogue with every youth that is in this country that has an issue or a concern to discuss. We are open to discussing with them. And just a quick caveat, before journalists go and misrepresent what I said, that all journalists are not competent to report on anything issues. No.